Hey guys, it's Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video and to another reading vlog, and also a new angle because I'm trying to change things up a little bit. This is a little bit of a weird reading vlog and it does warrant a little bit of explanation. So technically I filmed this a year ago. This was filmed like last April. I was basically trying to do a reading 30 books in 30 days challenge. However, I think I did end up completing it, but I lost like half the footage. I accidentally deleted like half the footage, and then I think I like just misplaced this memory card, but I found it later because I've kind of given up with that video. I was like, oh, I don't need it, put the memory card away. But recently I found this memory card with this footage on and I was like, oh, like I did review like a decent amount of books in here. Like obviously it's like not the entire 30 books because firstly some of those were for other videos, and then secondly some of the footage I did accidentally delete. But I think I've got like 6 or 7 books that I read in this vlog, and I was like, I might just repackage it, cut out any mentions of the 30 books in 30 days and just post it as kind of like a little Wednesday video in between my other bigger vlogs, because I am working on a couple bigger vlog projects at the moment, so they are taking up a little bit more time. So I thought in the meantime I will share this with you guys and it will just be like a little mood reading vlog. Technically this was filmed a year ago. I do look a little bit different. It's really weird looking back, but some of these books were like really good. I read like The Last Murder at the End of the World in this video and I really enjoyed that, so I thought I might as well not kind of just throw all the footage away, even though it has kind of been thrown away for like a year. I thought I would just package it up and give it to you guys in this kind of little Wednesday vlog that is actually going off on a Thursday, but still I class it as my like Wednesday vlog. I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's just get straight into it. I also picked up yesterday The Exception to the Rule. This is the second book in the series, but it's in the Improbable Meet Cute series, which is like an Amazon original short story collection, and they're about 100 pages long-ish, and they basically follow kind of like meet cutes and just the starts of relationships. So the first one that I read was by Christina Lauren and it was really cute. Again, only 100 pages. This is basically kind of the first half is like emails back and forth, and then it's like kind of a pen pally thing, and then about the halfway point it goes into like traditional text like a normal book, and then they meet and it's just really cute. And I gave it a 4 stars actually, which I wasn't really expecting because the first half I was definitely thinking like this is quite mid, maybe like a 3, but I did really enjoy the second half a lot more, so I decided to give it a 4. I was definitely like giggling. I thought it was really cute, so that was definitely a thumbs up from me. And yeah, like I said, I already downloaded the second one. I haven't started it yet, but I do think I will pick up another one. The next one's by Abby Jimenez, who I do really enjoy, so I definitely think I'll pick that up at another point. So today I think I want to pick up a shorter book. I'm getting into more of a routine now, so now hopefully I can get some good reading done in the mornings and stuff, and then do my like uni work in the afternoon. That's kind of the plan. But today I'm going to be picking up a shorter book that is on my TBR, and it's been on my physical TBR for a while actually, and that is She and Her Cat by Makoto Shinkai. I read a page last night. I don't even know why I put the bookmark in, but this is a super short one. This is like what, 150 pages, if that. I think, yeah, it's 153 pages, so definitely a super duper short one. I should hopefully definitely be able to finish it today, and then as well maybe start something else too. I think it's going to be really cute. I'm pretty sure it's just 4 stories about a cat and like their relationships with people. I'm not too sure, but I think it'll be very sweet. I also have started 2 audiobooks I've been listening to. The first one that I started was Vengeful, which is the second in the Vicious Villains series by V.E. Schwab. I got about 14% of the way through that, and then I just randomly decided to pick up something else, but I will still be continuing on with that, and that is completing the series for me. The one I'm listening to more at the moment is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I love this series. It's a reread for me. First time rereading it. I read it physically before, so to listen to the audiobooks is really fun. I'm enjoying that as well. I'll catch up with you probably when I finish this one, maybe this evening. I'm hoping to read some today before I go out, and then hopefully the rest this evening. We will see though. It's like 7:45 now and it's still light outside because the clocks went forward. Fabulous stuff. But yeah, I finished this today and I enjoyed it. I think I'm going to give it a 3 star. Nothing about this stood out amazingly to me, but it was just a cute story about cats and their owners. I'm a big cat lover. I was literally reading this with my cat right on my lap, so it was very cute. Overall, it's just like a nice wholesome read. It definitely isn't going to stick with me, I don't think. I think there was a time in which I was really loving these type of translated books, and now I just find them a little bit boring for me, and I'm looking for more kind of genre fiction. I think this was like 4 stories of different cats and their owners, and they were all kind of like in the same area, so they interconnected a bit, which was nice. And also like the cats kind of mimicked the owners a little bit. It was really cute to see the similarities, and overall just like a cute fun time. I really don't have too many opinions on it. It was a cute 5 star, and overall I have positive feelings. I guess I will catch up with you next time I pick up another book for this video. I started and finished The Worst Wingman Ever by Abby Jimenez. This is the second book in the Improbable Meet Cute series, which I really liked the first one of. This one was okay. It was very, very cute. It was a little bit shorter than the Christina Lauren book, which was the first one I read in the series. This was about 50 pages, just a cute little romance novella, and I decided to give it a 3.5 stars because I did think it was cute, but nothing like crazy exciting, and it was only about 50 pages or so that didn't take me very long. And then also this morning I decided to finish off the audiobook that I was listening to, which was my reread of the Thursday Murder Club. So I have the physical book here, but I did listen to it audibly. I absolutely love this series. It is one of my favourite series of all time, and I haven't ever reread it. I read it first physically and then now want to reread it via audio. But yeah, I was really excited to jump back into this series and get back into the characters. I love them so much. This one is a 4.5 for me. Pretty much I think the rest of the series on a reread will be a 5-star. I just think the series gets better and better and better. So yeah, a 4.5 for me, but still like such a solid start to the series. I mean, you don't need me to pitch it to you, but if you haven't read it, I would very much highly recommend it. I think it's an absolutely excellent series and an excellent book, so I had such a fun time with my reread. I only had about 25%, like 3 hours left, and I was listening to it on 2x speed, so that did not take me too long at all to get through. I decided to pick up the Honjin Murders by Saisha Yokomizo. I started this like last summer and I got like 77 pages in, but I was just getting a little bit bored by it, I can't lie, and a little bit confused, so I decided to pick up the audiobook for this, which I was just listening to now, and I got ready and I got 41 pages in. It's an extremely short little mystery novel. It's just like 180 pages, so I should be able to easily kind of pick this up and listen to it via audiobook. I've decided to start it completely over again because I have forgotten a lot about it, but this is just a historical classic mystery, and it's, I believe, like the author's like the Agatha Christie of Japan, and it's just starting to be translated, all of his works. I don't love classic mysteries, I think is what I've come to figure out since starting this back in like last summer, so I personally won't be continuing on with the series, but overall I am still excited to get to it, and I think it's such a cute little cover, so I don't think it should be too much of an effort to get through. Next I have the one I think I'm going to go into first because it's one of my most anticipated releases, and that is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. As I showed in my TBR, I have the cute little signed edition, and the spread edges on this is just gorgeous. So yeah, I'm super duper excited for this. I'll pitch it when I've read a little bit more about it because I still am a little bit confused about where we're going with it and like what the vibes are, but I'm really, really excited to get into this, and I think this is probably what I'm going to pick up now to do some physical reading. Very, very excited. I have made progress in Last Murder at the End of the World, so I'm about halfway through that. I am now on page 152 of The Last Murder at the End of the World, and I am really, really enjoying this. This is really, really good. So we're basically following a community on an island that's surrounded by like a dome that protects it from a kind of killing mist that will like murder them if they breathe it in, and it's very interesting. It's a little bit more sci-fi and dystopian than I first anticipated, because there's 3 like elders and scientists that are kind of like in control of what goes on the island. They know more than everyone. People aren't really allowed to ask questions. There's like an omniscient voice in everyone's head that like tells them information and stuff. Like, it's all a bit weird, so you really don't know who to trust. We've also just very recently got an absolutely bonkers twist that's like completely swapped the entirety of like everything in this book, which was crazy, and I just like, that was so out of the realm of possibility in my mind. I was just like, what? And it was like thrown in so like casually. I was there like doing a double take, like, I am sorry, but that was a really, really interesting twist, and it's definitely really, really, really intriguing me. So unfortunately I'm really upset that I can't just binge this tonight, but I definitely will finish it tomorrow morning. I am super, super interested in this at the moment, and I'm very, very excited about it, so it's going well so far. Slightly on a lower excitement note, I did finish the Honjin Murders by Saisha Yokomizo. Like I said, I'm just not really into this kind of classic crime. I don't know whether it was kind of like a lack of full concentration with the audiobook, but I did read the final bit with like kind of the explanation of the killing, which kind of makes sense, and like who the murderer is, like everything that happened. It's kind of interesting, but I just didn't really care. I don't know why. Like, I feel like the issue is with a lot of these kind of classic mysteries, it's so focused on the mysteries that I'm not connected to the characters, which means that I don't care about the mystery, if that makes sense. Like, I don't care about the resolution. And also, this randomly spoiled like one of Agatha Christie's books at the end. Like, it was saying that it was inspired by like the twist in one of this book, and I was like, oh, so is that the same twist in that book? Like, have you just spoiled that? Because I haven't read that, and that was one that I was interested in, but whatever. Overall, it was fine. I don't really care. I feel like it's going to be a 2.75. It was a quick, easy read. It's on my finished bookshelf now, and I did get it secondhand, so I'm not too bothered all about that. I'd probably give it a 2.5 It was very mid to me. I need to take off all my makeup and get ready again, so I think I'm going to pick up the audiobook for normal people while I do that. It's a shorter one, and it's one that I think I wouldn't mind listening to by audiobook, because like some books I feel like I'd rather read physically, and that's one that I'm happy to like at least start by audiobook. I'll catch up with you in the morning probably. Good morning. I went on to finish The Last Murder. I just see Willow jumping around. The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. I believe I talked about my feelings halfway through, but overall I really enjoyed this one. This was such a hit for me. Definitely more like sci-fi dystopian than like classic mystery, yeah, bye, than I was expecting. This is very high concept. I feel like it was kind of concept first, mystery second, but overall I like absolutely loved it. The kind of initial first twist that kind of turns everything a bit on its head, I loved. I've never read anything like that before. I thought it was such a unique and fun premise, and I just thought this was like an excellent book, like so well crafted, well thought out. I loved all the details, the world, everything. I found super interesting, so I decided to give this a 4.5. It just didn't quite have that 5-star feeling for me, but overall I loved it. I really felt attached to the characters towards the end. I liked the ending. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. I don't understand what the bonus content was. If any of you guys have read the bonus content, please can you tell me like who those people are meant to be, when that little short story section was set. Like it was almost like a chapter like within the same world, but like as far as I'm aware it was different characters. I also don't know whether it was set before or after the book. Like I was just a little bit confused, so please let me know, DM me and explain, because I was a little bit confused with that. But overall 4.5, I was super pleased with this one, and I'm very excited to display it very gorgeously on my shelf. Then I also read, mainly via audiobook, a little bit physically, Normal People by Sally Rooney. I enjoyed this one. I gave this one a 3.75, I believe. I did like it. I understand that it was like a slice of life, character study, miscommunication, like not a romance book, but my issue with it is that I felt very like disconnected from Marianne. Connell, I feel like we got to see a lot of like why he was the way he was, like how his mind worked, everything he was going through, but I didn't feel the same for Marianne. I feel like a lot of her kind of actions, I felt like I didn't understand why she was behaving the way that she was, and I feel like we definitely got to see a lot more of kind of Connell than we did of Marianne, even though it's not like first person or anything, and they very much both like share the main character title, but yeah, for some reason I just didn't really feel connected to her in the same way that I did to Connell, or at least like that I knew her and understood her in the way that I did Connell, and I think that kind of hindered my enjoyment a little bit, because obviously it's a character story, so that's kind of what you're meant to be able to do. You're meant to like really get to know the characters, and I always felt like at a bit of a distance from Marianne. Overall I did enjoy it, and it was a good book, so 3.75, I'm glad I've got round to it. I also was listening to the audiobook of Vengeful, but I decided to DNF it at 25%. I got like a quarter of the way in, and I just was not enjoying the multiple point of views, the new characters, the jumping around in the timeline was very confusing for me. It was very much set out like 3 years ago, a year ago, 3 weeks ago and present, and I was just getting really confused with what was happening in which timeline, and we were jumping around different characters in the different timelines as well. Like all of the characters were in almost all the timelines, and it was all just very confusing for me, and it was reminding me a lot of Dr. Sleep by Stephen King, which I really didn't enjoy either, and I DNF'd that one as well. So I just wasn't enjoying it at all, to be honest, and I was like, oh, I don't want to listen to it. I'm like, if I don't want to listen to an audiobook, like that's the easiest form for me of reading, so if I'm like having a barrier there, then like there's no point in me finishing it. And yeah, just overall I don't think it was for me. I read a synopsis summary of everything that happened, and I don't think I missed out on too much, so I'm glad I did decide to DNF that. And I have now started listening to Divine Might by Natalie Haynes. This is a non-fiction about Greek goddesses. I read her one about the characters in Greek myths, Pandora's Jar, which I loved, and I'm really excited to pick this one up as well. This is a 2023 or 4 release. It's a pretty new release, and I'm excited to finally have it on my library app. So I've been listening to that. I'm about 30% of the way through now, and I'm enjoying it much more. I'm definitely finding it very easy to listen to and pick up. So I'll catch up with you probably in a couple of days when I have a little bit more to chat about. It's been a little while since we last chatted, I believe. Excuse how kind of made up I am. I'm just about to head out. I finished up the audiobook for Divine Might by Natalie Haynes, and I absolutely adore that. I felt like I was kind of finding additional time to read the audiobook and just kind of sitting down and listening to it whenever I could. Firstly, I love Greek mythology at the moment. That's so what I'm into. Like, it's kind of what I'm finding the most interesting learning about at the moment. Like, I'm really enjoying it. So any form I can get kind of like stuff related to that in, I really enjoy. And secondly, Natalie Haynes as an author I'm just obsessed with. She narrates her audiobooks, which I think really elevate them to the next level. I feel like she has kind of a slightly sarcastic, slightly like humorous kind of tone of voice in certain things, and it really kind of helps get across like the message of the book. I feel like potentially things that are meant to be slightly sarcastic or something might not come across as well on text as it does via audio, especially because she knows the exact like intonations that she wrote it in. So I just think it adds really well to the whole experience of the book. Yeah, I decided to give Divine Might 5 stars. It was all about Greek goddesses and their stories, and I found it so interesting. I feel like Natalie Haynes, at least in her non-fiction, kind of perfectly balances like informative stuff, because obviously she like studied classics, she knows what she's talking about, but also adaptations and applications of these stories to current real world situations. There's a lot of kind of poignant thoughts and stuff in there, but there's also kind of like a light-hearted humorousness about it as well, which I think really works so well. So I think she's an absolutely excellent author and audiobook narrator. Then moving on to another one, I read Natural Beauty. This was for a book club that I'm part of, and this is like a short kind of weird horror-y type book, kind of as a reflection on the beauty industry, and it was odd. It was weird, very weird. I was like highlighting little words to kind of look up what they mean on my Kindle, and I was not expecting that to come up. If you've read it, you'll understand. It's quite graphic in like just, I guess it's nature, but overall I did give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I think it was balanced well between like kind of body horror, graphic, weird stuff, but sometimes I feel like it can be a little bit sensationalist and just kind of for shock value, and I personally didn't totally see it that way. For me personally, the reason it's not a 5, I feel like the ending kind of just played out slightly differently to how the rest of the tone of the book I felt was, but overall I did still enjoy it. I also really liked the writing in this. I didn't expect to enjoy it very much. It was probably like a 3-star prediction, because I thought it was going to be very like literary horror, but I actually found that the writing was super readable and I had a really good time with it, and it's a pretty short one, so I did enjoy that. And then finally, most recently, I read Plot Twist via audiobook. This is by Bria Keenan, and this was an arc I had from NetGalley, so I was super excited to get to it. It's my first arc, and I'm very excited to kind of be dipping my toes into that side of doing book content and stuff like that. Unfortunately for me, this was not a hit. I was enjoying the first 70% of it, but I ended up giving this a 2-star. I found the main character quite annoying, and I mean, it really lived up to its name. It was like whiplash, some of the stuff that was happening in this book. Like at some point I was like, wait, who even is meant to be the love interest? Like, what is going on? Why have we got this whole another side plot in here? Like, it was very bizarre. I think it was set up almost like a summary fun rom-com, like fans of Emily Henry. The cover gives very Emily Henry vibes, and that's why I was interested in it, but I feel like it lacked a bit of direction and it felt a little bit too lengthy for me personally, and just like kind of just got a bit rogue towards the end, and I ended up not really rooting for the couple. There was just too much miscommunication and jumping to kind of like unrealistic conclusions and stuff that I felt really hindered the book and annoyed me a bit. But overall, like the writing style, I did still enjoy. It's set in Ireland and the main character's Scottish, so that was fun to listen to via audiobook narration. But yeah, overall, unfortunately, it didn't hit for me, but I would be interested to pick up other stuff from the author. So now I am listening to the audiobook of Good Material by Dolly Alderton. This is her 2024 release, I believe. I'm just about 20% into it so far and enjoying it. Let's get lots of reading done this week. Fingers crossed. Hello, I feel like this is an abrupt shift from our last update, but it is a couple of days later now. Since we last spoke, I listened to the audiobook of Good Material by Dolly Alderton, and to be honest, I really didn't enjoy this one too much. I decided to give it a 3 stars, which I do personally think was a little bit generous. In this one, we are basically following Andy, who's kind of in his mid-30s, and he's just been dumped by kind of like a long-term girlfriend, and it follows him in kind of like the year after his breakup. He's like a failed comedian. He's just kind of like wallowing and like getting his life back on track, but to be honest, like I don't care. Like, I don't want to be in the head of a 35-year-old failed comedian. Like, that is the least like interesting, like fulfilling type of story to read from. I really didn't enjoy it. I think like you weren't meant to like him that much, but I just found him a little bit insufferable, to be honest. So it was a 3-star for me. And then last night I read Imagine Me by Tahira Mafi. So although this is a long one, this is 450 pages. The Shatter Me books are so fast paced, and every time it changes point of view, you have like a whole kind of page. So like it actually is probably only about 300 and something pages, plus like it's very quick read. I personally loved Ignite Me and Unravel Me, but unfortunately unfortunately this series has gone very much downhill for me. This was such a filler book, so boring. Pretty much in every book they have to go on some type of rescue mission, but in this book the rescue mission that they had to go on was exactly the same as the rescue mission in the past book. It was in the same place, the same person was needing rescuing, and it was just like, it's just a repeat again. It felt incredibly unnecessary, to be honest. It was pretty much just a repeat of the previous book. The fact that the villain in this book keeps getting killed and then keeps coming back to life is just ridiculous. So unfortunately this series just feels like such a cash grab at this point, because the first 3 was a trilogy, and then a few years later, once it gained popularity, she wrote like 3 more. So unfortunately this is a bit of a flop for me. I gave it a 2.5, I believe. It was just ridiculous, and I think for the length of this book, 450 pages, the action is so short, everything gets resolved so quickly once you actually get there, and they really don't face any like proper stakes. I feel like you know that like all the characters are going to be safe, and then they kind of try and pair them off into couples, and it's like, I don't care about these side characters getting relationships. It's just like so like a waste of my time. But I do want to finish the series, because when I have them all, they're kind of here, can you see? When I have them all stacked together, they're gonna look so nice. So I picked up this one because it was a quick easy read, plus it would make progress in the series, and that does mean that I can finish off the series now with the final book, which is Believe Me, which is a very short novella. So I thought that would be perfect to read today. As you can see, I'm a tiny bit of the way through, so I'm going to finish this off today. That is our most recent update, and I'll catch up with you when I'm done with this and probably starting something else. Hey guys, it is the same day, just a little bit later in the day. I did get a haircut, which is why it is shorter, a little bit curly, but we made some really good progress today. I'm very excited. We actually finished 2 books today, which I was super duper pleased about. Firstly, I finished Believe Me, which is the final book in the Shatter Me series. This is obviously a short one, so this is very much just like an extended epilogue, just a nice kind of way to round out the series. I still stand by what I say like all the time, is that the series just goes very downhill, and it definitely could have just been a trilogy. I gave this a 3.5. It was cute, but like not necessary. And also I didn't know why there was like a sex scene in a YA book. That felt a bit random, but overall like it was just a cute little ending, very easy read. It was just fine. And then I read Before We Say Goodbye by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I liked the first one of these, but I decided not to continue on reading it as a series. I've been told that you can kind of read them all as standalones, and that's what I did with this one, and I didn't have any issues with that. And there's like literally a kind of chart at the beginning which gives you like a recap on all the characters and stuff, so that was pretty helpful for me. And overall this was very cute. I feel like I felt similarly about it to the first one. I didn't cry in it, but I did decide to give this one 3.5, I believe. I think maybe they were both 3.5s, I'm not too sure, but this one was cute. It has, as with the first one, 4 short stories about travelling back in time before the coffee gets cold. I do think it gets a little bit repetitive. I think I definitely would have enjoyed this less if I had read the other 2 before it as well, like the second and third books, because I feel like I would have just got a bit bored, because it would have probably got a bit repetitive for me. They repeat the rules of the cafe in every single short story. Sorry, there's like one hair. They repeat the rules of the cafe in every single story, and it's like, okay, we get it. Like at some points they even have like it listed out multiple times in like this many pages, and it's a bit ridiculous. But overall I did think that the stories were very nice. The last one was my favourite. If any of them were going to make me cry, it probably would have been that one, but they didn't. But yeah, it was fine, it was cute, it was very easy. And then I picked up 2 new releases that I'm super excited about. So firstly, what I actually think I'm going to treat myself to pick up next is the Rulebook by Sarah Adams. This is her new release, and I believe it's the second in like interconnected standalones with the cheat sheet. And then another 2024 release that I'm super excited about, and that is Medea by Rosie Hewlett. This is obviously a retelling of the Medea myth, and now it's like 11:30 in the evening, so I'm probably just going to read a little bit of this before I head to bed. Hopefully I can still at least finish this tomorrow. Okay, so we are back in 2025 now. All I can really say about the rulebook is that I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 4.5. I don't really have too many other thoughts on it. It was probably one of my favourite Sarah Adams books that I've read, but would recommend. I did really enjoy it. So yeah, this was a little bit of a weird vlog. Sorry if it was a bit choppy at parts where I tried to cut out like any mention of my 30-day challenge. I might do another one in like August of this year, I'm not sure, and hopefully I don't delete the footage for that. But yeah, I think that is kind of all. I hope you did enjoy it despite the kind of messiness, but I did want to kind of save the footage if I could, because I did put a lot of effort into the video at the time when I was filming it. I know I was quite upset when I deleted it, but yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like down below, hit subscribe and turn the bell to join a little club, and make sure to turn on all notifications, then you'll be notified every single time I post a new video. And if you want to watch one of my other videos, there'll be 2 on the screen now to pick from, as well as a loading tab in the cards from earlier. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.